Whether you are joining us live or through the recording via YouTube. Let's just start as we always do by taking a moment to bring awareness to how we're feeling. So just note, name whatever emotion is coming up for you. And then once you've named the emotion, see if you can ask or answer that question of how do you know that you're feeling that way? Is there a certain body sensation or multiple body sensations that help you name whatever it is you're feeling right now? And just know whatever you're feeling, it's all okay. All emotions are part of the wide spectrum of human emotions. And I see that Aaron has commented in the chat box. He says, frazzled, tense, jittery, and a little gratitude to see you all. I'm grateful to see you all also. Awesome. Whatever comes up for you is okay. All right. So let's see. Last week, we spoke about mindful eating, and we talked about those feeling tones of pleasant, neutral, and unpleasant. And so we can use those same feeling tones to talk about today's process. But also, this lesson, Heartfulness, relates to what we did 2 weeks ago when we spoke about emotions, mindfulness of emotions. And we explored a difficult emotion and how it felt in the body. So maybe it was something like tightness in the chest or a pit in the stomach or tension in the throat or the shoulders. So we are going to do an exercise that explores heartfulness, which is purposely having kind thoughts or wishing good thoughts for others as well as ourselves. And when we spoke about those ripple effects of difficult emotions, those ripple effects can also take place for emotions such as anything that comes about when we wish kind things to others or to ourselves. So, heartfulness, one of our words of the day, heartfulness is purposely having those kind thoughts and wishing good things for yourself or for others. And it helps us respond to difficult situations and people with goodwill and openness and compassion. So, whether we're wishing happiness for ourselves or for a complete stranger, or for a loved one or a pet, it's or our own internal experience, our experience inside, that experience of happiness and kindness that ripples out and affects those around us. So let's see, Iker, I'm curious. Can you think of an emotion that you've experienced where you have noticed the ripple effect of it transferring to other people?
I don't remember. No.
And maybe you have and you don't realize it. So maybe that can be something to just be aware of today as we do this heartfulness practice and we send kind wishes to another person. You can just kind of be aware of how does that feel in your own body. So, okay. So one thing about mindfulness, and I think we might have spoke about this in an earlier class, is that in mindfulness, how we pay attention to the present moment or our attitude, it's just as important as the fact that we are paying attention. And so that's our intention. The intention is to be better friends to ourselves and to others. And so even if we don't feel all of these things of heartfulness right away, these good feelings, it will work anyway because mindfulness is an intention-based practice. So we're going to start by doing a heartfulness exercise that will help us explore what sort of ripple effects there can be when we send kind thoughts. So let's start off this exercise with a mindful body position. So we've practiced mindful bodies several weeks in these lessons where we say we sit upright but not uptight. And if our feet can touch the floor, we allow them to be flat on the floor. And either let our arms hang by our sides or we can rest our hands on our legs. And if it's comfortable for us, we can allow our eyes to close. Or if it's not comfortable for us to allow our eyes to close, we can just have a soft gaze looking down on the ground a few feet in front of us. A soft gaze that is fixed, not not having our eyes dart around the room, but just having our eyes in one spot. And once we are in that mindful body position, let's start by bringing to mind someone that you see often. Someone that you care about. It can be someone that you live with. It can be someone that you see at school. It could even be a pet. It could be someone that you see outside, like a neighbor or a friend. And then once you've chosen that someone, see if you can imagine this someone doing something that makes them smile. And just imagine relaxing and paying attention to what you sense in your heart right now. And see if you can name what you're feeling right now as you imagine this someone you care about, someone you enjoy, doing something that makes them happy. How does it make you feel inside? And now, this special someone that you have imagined, now we are going to send them kind wishes. I will say each wish out loud, and you can repeat the wishes silently in your mind. And just continue with each wish until you hear the next one. I wish for you to be healthy. I wish for you to be happy. I wish for you to live in peace and ease. And imagine that your wishes are like text messages where they're able to reach your someone instantly. Now imagine that this special someone receives your wishes. They begin to get happier. So now notice your own heart and what you are feeling. It might help to perhaps put a hand on the heart or to put a hand anywhere else where you feel the sensation of sending kind wishes. And just name what you're feeling when you imagine this person receiving these kind wishes. And now gently let that image of that person drop away and bring your attention to one complete breath. The sensation of inhaling and the sensation of Exhaling. And now bring your attention to yourself. See if you can imagine yourself doing something that you enjoy, something that makes you smile. And once you have that image of yourself doing something that makes you smile, we are going to practice sending kind wishes to ourselves. I will say each wish out loud, and you can repeat the wishes silently in your mind. Just continue with each wish until you hear the next one. I wish for me to be healthy. I wish for me to be happy. I wish for me to live in peace and ease. And now notice what emotion you're feeling. And perhaps put your hand on your heart or anywhere else where you can feel a body sensation that relates to how you're feeling. And once you've named the emotion, bring your attention to your breathing. And notice the sensation of inhaling and exhaling. And now I'm going to ring the bell, which could be a pleasant sound or a neutral sound or an unpleasant sound. And when you can no longer hear the sound of the bell, allow your eyes to open. Once your eyes are open, you can become mindful of seeing. And know that this practice we just did, this is basic heartfulness, sending kind wishes to others and ourselves. So I would love to know, what did it feel like to send kind wishes to someone else? What did it feel like? Maybe both naming the emotion and if there was any body sensations that you were aware of when we were sending kind wishes. So you can feel free to type in the chat box or share out loud. What did it feel like to send kind wishes to someone else?
So it made me feel pretty good. It made me feel pretty good. Even though sometimes my thoughts intrude and I was like, this is kind of silly. But then if I just simply did what you asked, like pictured that person and pictured them doing something they enjoyed, instead of getting in my head about what is it we're really doing, if I just opened to that experience, then I felt pretty good.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Iker? How did it feel to send kind wishes to someone else?
I felt happy.
Awesome. So you were aware of that. Was there any sensation in your body where you could feel that emotion of happiness?
Like on my chest.
In your chest. Awesome. Yeah, I feel during heartfulness, I feel a little bit more expansive, free. And sometimes when we're happy, we hold our bodies a little bit different, a little bit more uh, open, free, versus sometimes when I feel unpleasant emotions, I feel, yeah, just like what David is doing. I feel tight and I feel a little bit hunched, like I make myself smaller or curl up into a ball. So, yeah, I'm glad that you were able to feel where you could feel that happiness in the body. Awesome. So that was about sending kind wishes to someone else. How about for the second part of it, when we were sending kind wishes to ourselves? How did that feel to send those kind wishes to yourself?
I felt more confident in myself.
Ooh, that's awesome. More confident in yourself. Does it, for you, Iker, was this something that kind of was like a normal feeling for you, or was it something that was maybe more new or more rare?
Like rare, new.
Interesting. Yeah, isn't it interesting? It's like, I mean, sometimes when we teach heartfulness lessons, whether we teach it to, students in schools or we teach it to adults, we notice that people often have different reactions and different feelings that they notice when it's different compared to what they send to others and what they send to themselves. They normally say it's a very different reaction that they feel. How about you, David? Was there a difference between what you felt with sending the kind wishes to yourself?
By the time we got to that, I was having a hard time participating because I had some thoughts that seemed pretty insistent and seemed pretty important. So I was just kind of going in and out of the exercise at that point. So I'm not sure I can give you a really great. I mean, I know it's happened a lot of other times when I've done this exercise, which by the way, I might mention is kind of the point of introducing this. These practices can create a habit of mind. So when we practice these things, well, it's just what I said. They can become a habit. And so, I mean, I'm always impressed when I'm walking around and I see people who just don't ever seem, take the worst blows life has to throw at them, and then they just pop back up. And the more and more I learn about this mindfulness stuff, the more I believe that it's because they actually, whether on purpose or just through the circumstances of their life, they've practiced looking at things to be grateful for and looking and practiced having these kind thoughts about other people.
Yeah, I've noticed that too with people who practice mindfulness, and I've also noticed ever since I first learned heartfulness, when I'm out in public and I see someone who seems upset and maybe there's nothing I can do to help them, I'll just send them a kind wish, and it might just be, may you be at peace. And then I feel like, instead of feeling helpless because I can't do anything to help them, or maybe previously I would have thought like, ugh, what's wrong with this person? Why are you treating me this way? It brings me the inner peace just to wish them peace, of may you be at peace, may you be happy, whatever. So yeah, and that's really the point of practicing this mindfulness formally, is that in our normal daily lives going out and about, we're able to implement even just little bits of mindfulness as we do anything else in our lives. So thank you for sharing. Yeah, one of the things I also would like to share is, Iker, you shared that it made you more confident when you wish these things to yourself. That is so great to hear. Often we hear that that sometimes people feel maybe a little bit guilty, or they feel that it's difficult to wish themselves kind things. And in which case I have to remind myself, and I also like to offer to others, that if we believe in kindness, well, who's the person that you spend most of your life with more than any other person, right? It's ourselves. So if we believe in kindness, we certainly should be sending that kindness, compassion, those good things to ourselves. So we get to receive that also. So let's see. We actually just now talked about two of our reflection questions, because our first one, so this will actually make it easy for you, Iker, when you go right after this to fill out the reflection questions in the Google form. The first one was, how did it feel to have kind and caring thoughts for someone else? And then number 2 was, how did it feel to have kind and caring thoughts for yourself? So we discussed that, so that'll make that part easy. And then reflection question number 3 is, how might it benefit you to practice heartfulness in the future? So this is one of those questions where there is no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever comes to your mind. Whatever is your truth. What do you think, Iker? How might it benefit you to practice heartfulness anytime in the future?
So you can be more kind to other people.
More kind to others. And then what do you think that does to yourself when you're kind to others?
You make more friends.
And that would be an example, I think, of the ripple effect, right? Yeah. And so it probably benefits those people that you're kind to them. It benefits you that you have more friends. Absolutely. Anything else you can think of how might it benefit you to practice heartfulness in the future? I was thinking of that example that I gave of when I'm out in public and sometimes I see someone who's upset and I wish them peace or happiness or whatever it might be. And it does help me with how I feel internally.
Yeah, I don't want to answer for Iker, but I was really struck by the fact that he mentioned something about feeling a little more confidence in himself. And I can see that having a lot of positive effects, especially over time, and growing and being stronger, becoming a normal state instead of maybe just the feeling during practice or after practice.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
I also like this idea of a ripple effect. My favorite example is, there's a convenience store that I go in every day. And the woman there in the morning, if I go in the morning, is one of these who is, oh, life has been so terrible. Life is so hard. These people are so annoying. Everything's going wrong. This is just awful. And I realize that she interacts with people every day, all day, every day. And this energy coming from her is kind of spreading. She's kind of sharing that with other people. So I just, as much as I'd like to get out of there as fast as I can, I kind of just stand there and listen and maybe joke a little back and forth. And I don't want to give myself too much credit, but she's usually laughing by the time I leave. And I feel pretty good thinking that, wow, instead of sharing all that negative energy, she's going to be laughing with people. And so everybody that runs into her is going to leave laughing instead of complaining and griping. So that's a very real example of the ripple effect in my life,
yeah.
almost every day.
That's a good example. And wouldn't it be nice to have a camera in there to see what her interaction is like with the next customer, to see if she's a little bit more cheerful or...
Wouldn't it be funny if that camera caught her saying, yeah, this guy who just left, I don't like him at all. He's always hanging out, trying to make me laugh. It totally backfired in that way. That wouldn't be great, but it would make for a good movie.
Yes,
sketch.
But it is a great example, whether it's what we see as a pleasant or unpleasant or positive or negative thing, it's definitely the example of a ripple effect. And so I feel like after I practice heartfulness, because I feel maybe more pleasant emotions inside, I feel like I'm definitely having a more positive ripple effect on others.
You're a positive generator, a happy generator.
Yeah, yes, I love that term. Great term. All right. Well, it is 12:15 and we've spoken about all the reflection questions. So let's see. Before we leave, Iker, did you have anything else you wanted to share? Any comments or questions?
No.
No? Okay. Well, thank you so much for participating and sharing your experience. It'll make it easy for you to quickly share what we've just talked about in those reflection questions. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that everyone else can have that sense too of the ripple effect as a positive generator. So, thank you for joining, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.